Don't What is your social perception of me when you first look at me? What's the first thing you think about when you see the stereotypical attitude in regards of perception? My English is a little bit broken and I don't understand Cree Upsispaga. My name is Cardinal. My Indian name is sometimes I forget. What's it again? Many identities. Dance with many identities. I got two sisters. One sister is sleeps with many men. And she squats a lot, and I got lots of cousins, 13 great aunties, and a whole bunch of relatives. But the reason why I came back to school here is to try and teach you about social perception. Social perception is a big thing in our world, you know, and whether or not I come from this world where my ancestors come from, Metis, you know, hey, that's one of my identities. You don't want to get her out because she likes to fight. And then I got this beautiful gown. This represents society. And society basically put a lot of labels on us. And that's why I even look like this. I named myself Cardinal because I like to look pretty. Anyways, kaya. Okay. This dress represents the missing murdered women and the blood of my ancestors. That's why there's a lot of red. Red represents loss, love, and our ancestors. And it also represents the sun, our Metis hide. And it shows me where I come from, my roots. You know, from my kokum, veronica, morins, osima. Oh, that's my kokums, you know what it is. Anyways, that's where I come from. Over the years of residential schools, we picked up many identities and we lost who we are as a people. And whether or not we want a powwow or whether... Hey, this wants to make you want to dance. Anyways, please pay attention. Okay. Well, anyways, colonialism had created a lot of bad things to us. Losing my hair here. Anyways, it created a lot of things based on pre-colonialism, colonialism, assimilation. Indian Act, 1867. 763, Royal Proclamation. Residential school was the ugly disease of cancer. That's what started all these missing identities. We go through all this government, federal, provincial, and they take our identities. 1 minute we're Indian. And next thing you know, I'm Metis doing a jig. Next thing you know, I'm Bill C-31 and get holy, man, like talk about messing my unconscious. And that's what makes me incongruent with my Indianness today. It's because of the incongruent with the ancestors. I hope my teacher's listening because I really want to impress her. Well, anyways, you got all these labels between sexual abuse to discrimination to prejudice to lateral violence, to labels, cultural abuse, denied our right to hire. Oh, and so many things. My poor kokums, she just suffered, kaya. It sucks, Anyways, they suffered, and you know what they did? They just learned from bad habits. Okay, I'm gonna bring the white man involved in here. And they have these cycles on, here. They call it Erickson's theory. Trust versus that's us. And see, over the years and stages, while we were in residential schools, they took us about the second stage years. No, 4 through 6 years. Initiative versus guilt. And they did bad things to our people, our ancestors. And then it flowed right down to adulthood. And that carried on right even to our biological our history and our ancestors carried down through our genetics, archetypes through this Jung theory. What that Jung guy, I think he was pretty good. Anyways, I think he was friends with Freud, and you know how Freud was about the superego and the ego, and then he had all the stages of a child when they're first born, and if something bad happens to them, that goes through all these stages as well. Well, anyways, in the 1900s, Sigmund Freud had to do something with these egos, the unconscious. And then there was B.F. Skinner on environment, nurture versus nature. Intergenerational abuse goes from each generation. If it's not taken care of, it follows through right down to the last generation. And then this last guy, Hans Eisnick, genetic vulnerability, activated in part of environment factors determined by the evolutionary adaptation wrong of the brain, nature, hereditary and biological factors is more influenced than nature, learning, and experience. So that's what makes us incongruent with our unconscious. And what happens with our unconscious, that's why our poor babies, I didn't get to have no babies because of the sexual abuse. It was like, kaya, we sucks in, man, not me, kaya. Anyways, I just like to dress pretty. So, we have these things called pre-conscious and then unconscious. It's like in our mind, in our heart, in our spirit. We were not allowed to grow that way. The way we're supposed to grow, like each person is born sacred and complete. You know why? Because they're supposed to be a gift from the Creator. They come as whole, pure, untouched. And we got laws of sacred life. We got laws of nature. We got laws of mutual support. And all those components of building who we are start from the time that we're this tiny little guy or girl, or even two spirits, or whatever happens, whatever the Creator decides you to be, that's who you'll be. Gensto Den, are you listening? Hi Loretta. Okay, anyways, I'm moving on. I want to talk about perspectives. It's Indians are supposed to do what they're supposed to. Why do we disassociate to our labels? Well, if we disassociate because of all the abuse, and then our poor babies go missing and murdered, even our male prostitution, and then intergenerational child abuse, trauma, silence, and breeding, and even emotional abuse, and they go down deep into our unconscious, and that's where it stays. And if there's no teaching of coping mechanisms, no spirituality, no God sweat, boy, you'll just feel real, just born again. And I tell you, it's better than going to church and waiting for that white man to get me again. Man, his wife was sitting right there. Anyways, okay. Social behaviors. We all know in regards to what residential school apology isn't enough, considering the cultural influences, the factors of attraction, the perspective of love. We don't have that because we weren't taught that. So we have our poor missing and murdered women here. They go because they find the wrong kind of man and the wrong kind of love, that was sickles, that kind of hurt that our babies. And I just don't like that. I pray for them. Oh, I pray for them. Okay. And then I look at the structures of attitudes, and we go based on stereotype attitudes, trigger society's labels. That's where we get all this, and then become judgment. Then you get discrimination, prejudice, and all the labels that go with it. I just want to dance because I don't want to feel sad, because it's always sad when you talk about this deep down in our hearts. Anyway, this discrimination, prejudice, and that's because we're Indian. This label that these guys gave us it's a lot to bear. We went from status to treaty to Bill C-31, watering down our identities. Indian treaty. Oh, now all of a sudden we're indigenous. I know my kokum was a squaw. Anyways, we have issues here with our identities and whether or not it's based on our internal or in our unconscious or in our spirit. I want to teach people that we can teach them about the cultural components to bring them back to who we are. And whether or not I look like this, or whether or not our people have a different type of dialect, or they're Cree or Metis, or whether they're Inuit, it doesn't matter. The fact that residential schools gave us these labels, and we do have to wear them in our next generation, and our next generation will have to wear them. But with the teachers that are being taught now, the Cree perspective, we are learning to be whole spiritually, culturally, and we are paying attention to the 4 laws that keep us connected to our spirit. Nehio, that's who we are. We're not this. I wear these labels every day of my life. Since my kokum was in residential schools, identity changed 3 times. My mom twice. Me, now I can't get no rights. Métis Nation don't want to help me. So I'm going to do this to teach you about social behaviors, perspective, stereotyping, and the reason why we need our culture to be whole. I appreciate everything, and I'm hoping that I made references to social perspective. And this is dedicated to the tree instructors. This is what I learned this semester. I learned this is who I was. This is who I can transition to, or I could be this, what society paints me. Like dances with many identities. Do we want our next generation to be like this? Or do we want them to stand proud and dance to something that we've known all our lives? Neheo, dance it. Fernando, Kimaga. That's who I am. Who are you? Who am I? My name is Corianne Pruden. I'm a Bachelor of Education. I'm hoping to be a Cree teacher one day. And this is loving memory of Veronica Morin, Kikino, residential school survivor. And she believed in us and education. And I'm going to follow our ways instead of assimilation or this. But I just want to thank Loretta McConnell, Marianne, and Sonia for teaching me that we need our language, our history, and our culture, our narratives, our singers, our warriors, our storytellers, our people to teach us who we belong, and we need it in Cree because that connects us to the universe and the Creator. Examaga, Sasquatchmiasin. This is Kardashian. She's out there, sister, bro. Hey, ho. One more thing before I go. Can we take a moment of silence for all our ancestors that died before us today? Hey! Must be my cousin. Anyways, okay, take a moment of silence for all the babies that are buried even in our school and downstairs. And let them know, you know what? This generation, we know what's going on, and it's time to heal, and we're going to teach from a Cree perspective, from Cree teachers, and that's how we learn our wholeness. Gardishian! Hard! Ho! Go around dancing tonight, hey there, sister Roy. Kaya we sucks in my hair.